May we now request the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force, Lieutenant General Arthur M. Cordura, Philippine Air Force, to deliver his welcome remarks and anniversary message.
To the President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., to the Special Assistant to the President, Secretary Antonio Ernesto Lagdameo Jr., to the Department of National Defense, the Honorable Gilberto Chodoro Jr., the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo Browner Jr., and his lady, Mrs. Melody Mariel Browner, ma'am, the former Chief of Staffs and former Commanding Generals of the Philippine Air Force and their ladies, guests from the Malacanang Palace, guests from the Department of National Defense, Commandant Philippine Coast Guard, Major Service Commanders and Unified Commanders, guests from the General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, members of the Foreign Armed Forces Attaché Corps, general and senior officers from the active, retired, and reserve military service, members of the Philippine Air Force Multi-Sectoral Governance Council, our awardees and distinguished guests, members of the Philippine Air Force officers and enlisted personnel Ladies Central Club, men and women of the Philippine Air Force, my wife, Paula is here. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Today, we celebrate the 78th anniversary of the Philippine Air Force with the theme, Focus Philippine Air Force, Advancing Air Power by Committing to Mission, Strengthening Capabilities, and Championing Core Values. We are gathered not for the enduring legacy of this organization, but to report to the Filipino people that the Air Force you built, the Air Force you support, and the Air Force you trust stands as vigilant guardians of the skies, alert, capable, and committed. Mapalupa, dagat, at higit sa lahat, sa Himpapawid, nakatuon kami sa pagganap ng aming tungkulin para sa bayan. Focus Philippine Air Force is the present command thrust. Focus PAP is a trust anchored on the hard-earned milestones of my predecessors and guided by the strategic imperatives of building a mission-oriented, capability-driven, and values-based organization. Today, I am proud to report that through the gains of the previous leadership and the collective efforts of all airmen and airwomen, we have brought this vision to life. To our Commander-in-Chief, Sir, when you challenged the armed forces to realign and sharpen our focus towards territorial defense, we understood the gravity of your mandate and the urgency of your vision. Across a vast and porous archipelago, your Air Force has risen to that call, flying and defending our airspace and territorial integrity. More importantly, we transition mindset, posturing from internal security operations to territorial defense operations. Mr. President, the capability demonstration which you witnessed this morning is just a glimpse of what your Philippine Air Force can do when eventually all our program platforms and systems become available to complete our integrated air defense system. We are deeply grateful for the countless blessings that have sustained and strengthened us in our service to the nation. Each step we take in advancing air power is made possible through the unity, the unwavering support of the whole Air Force family, and all those who walk beside us in this shared mission. Your Philippine Air Force, enlisted personnel, and civilian human resource, your dedication, sacrifice, and legacy continue to shape and inspire today's airmen and airwomen. Above all, we give praise to our Almighty God, whose light has guided us through every challenge, every flight, and every mission. With full hearts and a renewed spirit, we soar onward, committed to our mission, resolute in strengthening our capabilities, and true to our values. So as we mark 78 years of service, we look beyond the horizon with clarity and resolve. The future of air power demands readiness, across all domains. To meet this challenge, we are advancing our capabilities in surveillance, precision strike, unmanned systems, integrated air defense, and will earnestly work for the adoption of space capabilities. We are also evolving our doctrines, force structure, and strategic partnerships to ensure that we remain relevant and decisive in times of peace and in times of crisis. But more than platforms and systems, it is our values that propel us forward. Integrity, service above self, teamwork, excellence, and professionalism. These remain our true strength, along with our commitment to do good governance, pursuit of a stronger safety culture, and unshakable warrior ethos. Together, we fly farther not just to defend the skies, but to shape a future where our Air Force stands ready, relevant, and resilient. Your Excellency, sir, as we salute your leadership and the trust you have placed on us, we make this solemn vow that we will be there, flying, watching, and serving. And together, we will reach higher, together, we will look farther, and together, we will move beyond the horizon. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay ang hukbong Himpapawid ng Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you, sir. You may now be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos, Jr.
Thank you to our National Defense Secretary, Secretary Gilbert Chodoro. Please be seated. The honorable members of the Cabinet present here this morning, the Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, the Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff, General Romeo Browner, and the other major service commanders, Philippine Air Force Commanding General, Lieutenant General Arthur Cordura, Philippine Coast Guard Commandant Admiral Ronnie Gil Galvan, officers and personnel of the Philippine Air Force, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to all of us. Today we mark another critical moment in the history of our proud Philippine Air Forces. 78 years of service, 78 years of guarding our skies, 78 years of responding to every call for help. Reaching this milestone is no small feat. This was earned through discipline, determination, and unshakable devotion to protecting the people and to protecting the state. It meant taking off to the skies when the weather was inclement, bringing supplies to typhoon-ravaged areas when help was needed, providing support to troops on the ground when morale was at its lowest. It meant showing up with consistency, competency, and integrity. The hard work continues, even when nobody is looking. As threats evolve and disasters strike, the Air Force delivers, adapts, and does its job and performs its mission. Focus PAF at 78 demands us all to continue fulfilling this mandate with clarity of purpose and conviction. It is a reminder to stay committed to our mission, one that is strengthened with enhanced capabilities and enduring values. So I say this with great pride. The Philippine Air Force is a force on its own right. It is a credible, agile, essential to our country's aerospace defense. When I stood before you last year, I said that the PAF is a steady partner in building peace and reaching those who live furthest from help. Just a few days ago, I visited the Air Education and Training Command in Batangas and reaffirmed once more that we recognize the critical role of the Philippine Air Force. The government will exert all efforts to provide the Philippine Air Force with the best possible equipment, training, and facilities. we remain relentless in ensuring that support will continue. Because we know that when our troops are equipped and are attended to properly, they are empowered to fulfill their duties and serve the country with excellence. You are all well-trained, highly capable, and most importantly, more than willing to protect the citizens of the Republic and the Republic itself. Since we last gathered in July of last year, you have proven what it means to be focused and to be excellent. Hundreds of unidentified tracks have been monitored in our air defense zone, and thousands of vessels near our waters have been kept under close watch by the Air Force. Insurgents have been tracked, threats neutralized, law enforcement operations supported, from capturing criminals and stopping smuggling operations that hamper the economy. But even with the demands of duty, the Air Force has continued to grow, welcoming 6 new aircraft, enhancing skills through flight simulation and advanced training. It also completed many infrastructure projects and ensured our air assets are always well protected and strategically positioned. In times of disaster, whether at home or abroad, the airmen and airwomen have responded quickly and have served quietly. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that whenever the mission calls, the Philippine Air Force answers. Time and again, you put your life on the line for the sake of our people. Habang umaasa ang taong bayan sa inyo, kayo naman ay may maaasahan sa administrasyong ito. Bilang inyong Commander-in-Chief, titiyakin kong buo at tapat ang suporta at malasakit ko sa inyong lahat na Philippine Air Force. As we celebrate yet another year of fine service, I sincerely congratulate this year's awardees for their outstanding performance. You truly deserve the recognition that we have given you today. Remember, we owe the Filipino people a swift and responsive Air Force. Today, in its 78th year, let us recommit to that. Thank you for keeping us safe. You do all your work in the sky so that all of us here on the ground may live in peace and security. Let our resolve be focused and unshaken as we serve the Philippines and fly ever higher together. Maraming salamat at mabuhay ang hukbong himpapawid ng Pilipinas, mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you, sir.